Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. So some things happened. After I recorded the patch video yesterday, I was like, oh, that's weird. People's triumphs and titles are disappearing. That's not great. But I'm sure it won't be a big deal. They'll be able to be restored. Whatever. Well, it is not a permanent loss of titles or triumphs, as I expected. It was a little more complicated than that. The blues removal patch, which also did a bazillion other things, or at least was supposed to, pretty much broke the whole game. In addition to the missing triumphs and titles thing, the game just became violently unstable to the point where, like, I went downstairs to unplug my modem because this has happened to me before, and when, I kill enemies and they respawn in, like, 5 times. Last time I did this, it was my internet that was the problem. But then I checked online, and other people were complaining about it too, and then Destiny just shut the servers down, and that lasted for 18 hours. That is pretty unusual, and it ended with the third rollback in Destiny 2 history. That means characters were reverted to their state, I think it was like 40 minutes before the patch. So anything that happened between then and the time the game was brought offline, hello Evie, hi, was not saved. So that includes loot, that includes progress. I was kind of whining because I lost a red border Insidious from Bow, and I was starting to do some bounty hoarding for Lightfall, all of which got erased. But I know other people lost a lot more stuff. Some people were like hardcore farming DSC for red borders right at the beginning. Some people did speedruns of the dungeon right at reset to get the bows and got the bow and then now lost it. So that is a little bit more serious, and this is kind of the problem with rollbacks, but it's also, when you have a corrupted hotfix, kind of the only way to fix things. Now the game is back online. Applause to Bungie for all the hard work they did to get that back online, but I do think there is general concern among the community about the technical state of Destiny 2 right now. I wrote about this today. It's a weird issue because, I'm always I'm suggesting Bungie should do this with Destiny, Bungie should do that, but this is game dev stuff that I think 99.99% of us have no clue what we're talking about. So we can think we know the answer to why Destiny is having all these technical problems, but we're sort of just guessing. And so the usual guesses are this has something to do with continuing last gen supports for PS4 and Xbox or Xbox One, as opposed to just focusing on new gen. And if we left them behind, all this would be fixed. The other idea is that content vaulting, either they're not deleting enough stuff, so they're going to have to delete more stuff, or this will be fixed when they delete all the seasonal content that's built up over this year, or the content vaulting was pointless because why did they delete all that stuff if we're still having all these technical problems anyway? Again, we don't necessarily know that content vaulting and literal game stability were directly linked together. There were many reasons for content vaulting, some of which technical, some of which were they didn't want to have infinite amounts of playlist activities forever. There were many reasons for that. So, while I do not like content vaulting, I don't know if it is, the answer or not the answer or whatever. The other thing is just the general age of Destiny's engine. It's this Tiger engine that's been around forever. It does feel old in many ways, and yet kind of blaming the game engine is a common form of complaint here. Is that the issue? Maybe not. We really have no clue. It is an old engine. They have done many upgrades on it over time. No, it is not viable to just have Destiny start being on Unreal Engine 5. A few people have suggested that seriously. Nor do I think Destiny would move to Unreal Engine 5 even if they made an entirely new game. I don't see that. And then that is one other thing people propose. Well, if we just had Destiny 3, this would solve all the problems. And yeah, that seems like that would have a good chance of that. But also, if this is stuff with Bungie's underlying server architecture and things that would potentially carry over to a Destiny 3, even if it's a new EXE, that might not solve the issue either. And I don't even know if Bungie knows the full extent of these issues, or else they probably wouldn't happen as much and as frequently as they do, and they'd be able to prevent them. So short of some sort of like mammoth technical breakdown of what exactly is going on here, which includes like this thing with the hotfix, including the 2 other times this season where they had to shut off the API because we're getting so many error codes, to just general lag, general, connections dropping, error codes. What, like, there's a lot of stuff, and I doubt it's just like, if we just tweak this one thing or, do this one thing, that's the answer. And like, it sucks because it is dramatically impacting the game. Like, that part is not being understated. Like, I do think at this point, technical concerns are kind of Destiny's number one issue. We've seen them ruin many, raid race launches, dungeon launches, and then, if the API goes offline, the game's borderline unplayable. Even when like loadouts and stuff come, that will still be tech that should be using the API. So like it's, that's not necessarily a fix by itself. And I do think people are right to be concerned about Lightfall's launch for the DLC itself and for the raid race. Like, things have not been great, and I see no indication that Lightfall is bringing some sort of sweeping change that will fix something, unless Bungie says that explicitly, which they have not. So it's concerning, and like, I do agree that like some of this has to do, like, it has to be related to just Destiny is a very old game that has added a lot of content over time and has had to go through these like, Destiny 2 is almost like the Ship of Theseus now, where they've taken so much out and put so much in like over the years that it's barely the same game as it was when it launched in terms of, the content. Like, some locations are the same, some weapons and things have stayed around, but like it is, 60, 70, 80% new in terms of like the grand scope of all content compared to launch. And it's an old game. We are entering year 6 of content here. And this is, the engine they've been using for well before that. So like it is a safe bet that just age could have something to do with this, but we just don't really know the specifics of what that means, what a fix would be, what the path forward here is. But I do think that has to be a priority, and we'll see if it is. Like, I know Bungie does not want to be, putting on emergency fires every couple of weeks in terms of the game melting down, but that is pretty much what has happened in Season of the Seraph. Like, Season of the Seraph has been a very good season overall, I would say, just in terms of content, but the bad parts have been, the days that they had to shut down the API, or now everyone lost some loot from, the rollback and the game was down for almost a day. Like, those are lowlights that have nothing to do with the content being produced there. It's just, technical issues. And then the end result of this technical issue is that blues have not been deleted. Blues are still dropping after the soft power cap. A future update will fix this. People are joking that them trying to remove blues is what killed the game, and blues are the new Telesto, and everyone is tagging me in a million memes, which is fine. I have no idea if that is actually related. The current situation is that I don't think blues drop anymore from opening like public event chests or high value target chests, but they can still drop from like normal enemies. And they, for a while now, they haven't dropped from like end of strike, end of crucible match stuff. They deleted that a while ago. But now, because they were supposed to be gone after the soft cap, they don't give any more rep for dismantling. But I think Banshee got his rep boost, so it's just, I don't think they give you anything for dismantling them now. Maybe they give you Glimmer, I'm not sure. But there will be less of them from chests, so that's something. But no, we obviously need them to stop dropping altogether, which is the main issue. A couple other things are not working right. You can't interact with the evidence boards in the Witch Queen, which is like part of the glaive thing they're trying to fix. Rumble was supposed to be added as a permanent playlist. That has not happened. These are things they've acknowledged, and they're like, they'll be fixed later, but we don't really know. As far as we can tell, all of the other changes went live, like the airborne effectiveness nerf and the cooldowns and all that kind of stuff. Early testing I've seen from people testing around AE and PvP seems like it's good, and seems like people are happy with that, but obviously the game has sort of been in a state of chaos for a while here. So that's kind of where we are now. I refarmed a little bit of what I lost yesterday, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be another rollback, so it should be safe to play now, but that was not great, and I do think, there is a good amount of skepticism heading into Lightfall in terms of like how the state of the game is going to be then. And then if we're sticking with Destiny 2 through the final shape, and possibly even after the final shape, which Bungie has strongly suggested there will be another saga within Destiny 2 itself, that raises a lot of questions about how much worse things are going to get in terms of technical issues and what the fix for that is going to be. Hopefully it's not just more content vaulting, and there are other fixes they can do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.